Hello, my name is Paul at Sculpterra Winery. Well, as you know, we have grapevines on our property, but we also have pistachio trees. Pistachio trees are very interesting in a lot of ways. First off, it takes a long time to grow a pistachio tree. It could take 10 years before you get a crop on the tree, before they have nuts. Another interesting part of it is you need both male and female trees. The male trees make the pollen and the female trees produce the actual nuts. Now the nuts are grown in a cluster like the grapevines do. On our property we have about 29 acres of pistachio trees. We started planting around 1980, and we have a mix of younger trees and older trees. The older trees now can produce a good crop every year, but when they're young, it's more of a alternate year where you have 1 year of a heavy crop, 1 year of hardly anything. On the years that we know are going to be the off year, we prune them heavily, but on the on years, we don't touch them all that much because we don't want to prune away the fruit that it can produce. Now the pistachio nut itself is interesting because it has three parts. It has the kernel, which is what we eat. It has the shell, which is the hard shell that protects the kernel. And then the outside is a skin. The skin gets peeled away during the processing. But when you look at the nuts on the tree come the fall time, when the nuts are being ready to be harvested, you see the whole thing. You see the skin, the shell, and the kernel inside. Now I'm in our older block of pistachio trees, and if you notice here, the nuts are starting to come out and be developed behind the clusters, behind the leaves, and the pistachios look red right now. Well, that's because they're immature, and as they grow, they go from this red color to a more light red, yellow, to kind of a greenish color when they're all the way ripe, kind of a pale green color. Now, in the old days, when people farmed pistachios, they were picked all by hand, and they were hit with hard sticks or mallets, and what that did was it bruised the outer skin and the shell of the nut. So you had these nuts that had black staining on them. And to hide the black staining, they would dye them red. If you're old enough, when you probably remember years ago that you would eat pistachios and your hands would get red because you touched that red dye. So the thing. Well, now when we harvest pistachios, we don't hit the trees that hard. We don't hit the clusters as hard as they used to in the past. The machines that pick them nowadays, very gentle, and the skin and the shell don't get stained, so we don't have to dye the pistachios red. Now the soils of pistachio trees are also very important. You need the roots to expand and to move out. If you irrigate them right on the trunk stays wet, and when the machines pick it, the tree can get loose and actually topple over and fall. So you want to irrigate the trees on the ends, and that encourages the roots to grow outward and gives them a much more stable base. Pistachios are a great thing. They're healthy, good to eat, one of the healthiest nuts that you can consume. And like I said, they're a lot of fun to grow. It takes a lot of patience to get a tree big, but with appropriate care, it can be done, and they can produce well year after year. Thank you for watching this video. Hope you enjoyed it.